So I wanted to do a video just to quickly touch base, to say hello, to say how are you, to let you know I'm still here, and to kind of mull a few ideas about what to do with the channel. I do not have time or in fact any inclination anymore to go through endless varieties of different Linux distributions over and over and over again, when essentially, as you learn when you move in the free software community, the Linux community, the GNU Linux community, it's all basically the same thing. It's the GNU software structured around the Linux kernel, and you either like some of the more corporate intrusions into that field or you don't. So you either go with Pulse or you don't. You either go with Systemd or you don't. You either go with snaps and flatpaks or you don't. But essentially, aside from those contentious and divisive aspects of what probably isn't, strictly speaking, anymore 100% free software anymore, everything is kind of the same thing. It's something you learn, and it just seems a little bit pointless. Looking at Arch one week, looking at Void the next, looking at Debian the next, looking at Dev1 the one after that. It's the same thing. It's like saying cars are different when essentially they are all the bloody same, aren't they? Do you understand where I'm going? However, that isn't to say that you should give it up as a bad job. It is still a viable alternative, and there are some of us who like to cling to the ideas of the free aspect of the free software world, which is why there is railing against flatpaks, snaps, Systemd, and Pulse Audio. Now, I'm okay with Pulse Audio, and I can just about tolerate Systemd as it currently stands, but I know that it has more nefarious aims. But I'm not even going to get into that debate, because when it does achieve what it intends to achieve, I will have no further part with it. I'm still a Linux user. I'm using Linux right now. I use Linux all through the night, and when I'm at home I use it all through the day. I use Void on this machine, I use Debian on the other desktop machine I own, and I use Mio Linux Saluta Semplice upstairs, serving my YouTubing and BBC iPlayer through the night, for keeping myself amused when I cannot sleep, which seems to be quite often these days. So yeah, although you learn to realise that it is all much of the muchness, it is still the alternative, and as such should be embraced and utilised if it fills your needs. If it doesn't fill your needs, if you want to do your hardcore gaming, then you have to do that on the most suitable platform, which is your Windows or your consoles. That's just a fact. I'm quite happy with the gaming performance of Void, and I'm quite happy with the gaming performance of Debian as well. But there are those that aren't, and who want far more. My needs are very few and quite minimal. As long as I can play my trucking, I'm alright. As long as I can play my old DOS games, I'm alright. as long as I can play certain other, say Windows XP, Windows 7, early Windows 7 era games, I'm happy as Larry. I don't want the latest and greatest, never have done. That's a consumer failing. You've got to have the latest and the greatest of everything. But anyway, I'm rambling, and you're looking at absolutely nothing at the minute. You're just looking at my little desktop, which is not the most inspiring one, but it's quite appropriate for me. So what am I to say? I'm not going to be doing mountains of Linux content. I'll be doing content on Linux, using Linux, but I won't be doing it about Linux. Because it's all been gone over by people with far better studio setups and far better computer hardware than myself, and with far greater knowledge. I came to the realisation the other day that even though I've been using Linux since 2008, that's a good 14 years now. 14 years! I didn't even know what debootstrap was. I'm a user. I don't want to learn to code it. I don't want to learn to make my own little Linux distribution. I don't want to learn how to theme. I just want to use it because it isn't the other one. So I'm a user, and I think there should be more people like me who are just users, because everyone wants to be a coder and everyone wants to have a little fiddle, don't they? Why not just use it? That's the best way to pay your tributes to it. Utilise it. Make what everyone else has previously done worthwhile. So what am I getting at? This is a little bit of a vlog, a little bit of a boring chit chat, but that's what it is. Basically what I'm going to do with the channel from here on in, I think, is I'm just going to do a playlist called Life, the Universe and Everything, where every episode is episode 42, because it should be, and because it's the loose remit of Life, the Universe and Everything, it'll just be me talking about whatever is on my mind when I go to make that video, or whatever I choose to create in GIMP or Inkscape or LMMS or Audacity or something like that, or whatever I've made, or whatever I'm promoting having made, or wherever I've been, or wherever I plan to go to, or whatever's piqued me, whatever's made me happy that day, whatever's made me angry that day. Life, the Universe and Everything. It'll be a vlog of pap, just random shit. And I think that's what I can do, because that way, because the nature of the stuff that I have to create now, because I don't have hardly any time at all for making videos, it has to be pretty impromptu, and it has to be either a mishmash of stuff that I've managed to do in a spare 5 minutes here and there throughout the week, or something that I've recorded out and about one day, just consolidated and uploaded. So that's what it's going to be, and these will stay up, I think, unless I do anything particularly contentious, but they will always run in proper order, because every single episode will be episode 42. So if I pull one, continuity is maintained. Anyway, that's enough of that. Consider this episode 42 of Life, the Universe and Everything, and I'll catch you in the next episode. You'll be good now.